Welcome to Trending Faith here on GCU TV. My name is Ashley Romantic, and let's get started with our question. Is there a danger to being too religious? What do you think, Tim?
The question makes me think of a bumper sticker my sister gave me when I first became a Christian. I was 18 years old, and she gave me this sticker that said, "You're so heavenly minded, you're no earthly good." So, I wonder if that's a little bit of what's behind the question. Sometimes we can be so busy about religious things that we're void of real concern about, our family or friends. And this idea of being so busy in religious stuff seems to, for some people, can disconnect us to the realities of life. And I wonder if sometimes these church activities or religious activities can really impede us as a follower of Jesus and kind of cloud the message of our life to others and our message of life to God. I mean, if we're so busy taking care of religious activities that we don't have time to take care of one another in a spiritual sense or even a physical sense, whether it be our family or be people that we fellowship with, or we have time for God because we're so busy doing things, maybe we can be a little bit too religious, if you would. So I think there's some merit to even asking the question. I think it's good for us to maybe say, all right, how busy am I with stuff that really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things or in life or in my relationship with others? I think it's a fair question.
Yeah, I think it's a very fair question. It's always it's a head scratcher to me as I read through the Bible and realize it's actually the religious people who are the furthest from God in the Bible. That's the religious people who killed Christ, who rose up against him. So I actually think one of the great dangers, kind of along the lines of what Tim is talking about here, one of the great dangers is that we can work too hard at our religion, too hard at being good, too hard at this or that, and in doing so actually distance ourselves from God all the while we think we're serving God, which is scary because if you've grown up in the church or if you've been in the church for a while, sometimes we begin to lean into our pride and we begin to think about being independent and just how much we've done for God and how much He owes us. And pretty soon our hearts grow cold and we start to look down our nose at other people, and we find ourselves very far from God all the while doing the sorts of things that good religious people ought to do, which is ridiculous. But if we're saved by grace and not by works, you can imagine we have to be humble. We have to receive that gift, and we have to acknowledge that it's not what we do, it's not what we're about, but really what God has accomplished. And religion isn't very good at those kinds of humble acknowledgments.
I think a lot of us find ourselves at some point in our Christian experience where we get busy with church things, and to your point, we kind of go, "Well, what am I doing?" And all of a sudden, we're as busy as can be, and we feel as vacant or void as we've ever felt, maybe even before we made a commitment to following Jesus. And so, religion can sometimes really muddy the waters of life's experience. And it's interesting to your point about where Jesus found the most fault. It was with those that were the super religious of the day. And so there's got to be some balance. There's a tension for us as believers to figure out, what is the right amount, of those kinds of activities where it doesn't get in the way, but it does support and serve our own spiritual well-being as well as others that we're trying to minister to. It's a tough balance.
Okay, well, I hope that answers your question. And as always, if you have a question, please feel free to send it to us at trendingfaith@gcu.edu or use the hashtag trendingfaith.